Hello and welcome to the status report highlight for the 6th of May 2015. And this time we've got an update from producer Brian Hicks about 056 progress and what to expect when 056 hits experimental branch. So let's get started. We're rapidly approaching the experimental push of 056, and we've discussed over the last few weeks some of the things you can expect from this update to the Steam branch. I'd like to recap a few key points though, as we're close to this push. Rebalancing of infected damage threshold, redistribution of existing infected spawns to high populated areas, bug fixing on per item quantity control, which is central economy, bug fixing on infected alert sound effects, bug fixing on infected movement, redesigned inventory tech, engine side, new firearms long range optics attachment, Starry Sober evacuation camp, bug fixes on various known duplication vulnerabilities. Tied with the 056 update to stable branch, we'll also see a hive-wide reset, public and private, including local storage data, player, camps and vehicles. Development is ongoing with the hive side economy control. In addition to the future bug fixing, development continues on the functional side, with the next major goal being region control over item spawn types, removing the restriction of structure types only in certain areas of the map. Internally, the programming and design teams are working hard on analysing server-side performance, player position desync, and other critical issues affecting early access gameplay. In some cases, resolutions to these issues are tied to the implementation of the new technology to replace the legacy systems inherited from the start of the project. All of them, however, will be ongoing goals for the team over the coming months. The bulk of the workload over the last month was centered around the refactorization of the inventory system. It became clear that the existing tech behind the inventory wasn't going to be able to meet the needs of the project, and carried with it its own vulnerabilities. The redesign stripped large amounts of the system and redesigned specifically to meet the needs of DayZ and upcoming changes to DayZ's core technology. Support for AI and vehicle inventory, removing limitation on in-hands as a virtual slot, still occupying space in container, dynamic changing of cargo capacity, e.g. lowering when damaged, raised when repaired, manual item rotation, support for redesign of inventory UI, support for EN script, Infusion scripting language, and much more. Looking at the central economy side of the fence, tracking the metrics on loot spawning provides some interesting details. Churnerous Plus features 8,725 buildings and wrecks combined, 1,742,796 potential item spawn points are spread across the entirety of Churnerous Plus, not counting dynamic events. Of the 8,725 buildings and wrecks across Churnerous Plus, 410 of them are greenhouses. With the 056 iteration of the central economy, we gain finer control over item spawn locations, but we still have ways to go. As each update gets pushed to Steam, we'll see finer and finer control over item spawn locations and types, as well as supporting dynamic random spawns that will ensure unique spawns of valued items across the map. Who knows, maybe someday you'll get really lucky and find an M4A1 in that barn over the hill. As you all dive into the experimental push of 056, which is not yet live, please keep in mind that like many things in the development of DayZ, the new systems and tech are work in progress, much like DayZ itself, and are incomplete, and more than likely contain their fair share of issues. Please make sure to report any issues found on the official feedback tracker at feedback.dayzgame.com. And that's all for this week's status report highlight for the 6th of May 2015. As always, I recommend you read the status report in full for yourselves for the most amount of information that it holds. All links will be in the description, as well as for DayZ TV for your DayZ news and information. And I'll see you peeps next time.